want to ask Raza, with this epidemic of the grooming within the UK, has your community ever addressed it on any Muslim channels? And if they have, can you please give me a link?
Why don't you just Google it? Why don't you Google it?
People may have heard through the media frenzy that erupted. We had a historic moment when we heard of the tragic cases of child sexual abuse that came to our town. And it was a very dark town, as somebody that was born in Rotherham and somebody that lived in Rotherham. But we, the British Muslim youth and the community members in Rotherham, we came out quite clearly. We condemned all types of injustice, and the victims, we stood with them. We went out on community conferences, we went out loud and clear, and we stood against criminals, because criminals don't define any race or religion, and they definitely didn't define us. And we went a step further. We went out and we rallied against these racists. We've rallied against these criminals. And I tell you what, you never ever see the EDL, you never ever see Britain's First come out against white groomers. They don't come out against criminals that somehow don't fit their racist agenda. But we came out, not because we had to, not because we needed to, but because our moral high ground showed that we should. And we came out quite clearly on that.
And you tell me that you're speaking out?
Friday is a holy day for Muslims, with hundreds of thousands gathering for the midday prayer. But today, imams at 500 mosques will deliver the same message, speaking out against child abuse.
Grooming young children for sex and exploitation of our children sexually is totally unacceptable. We must do everything possible to protect our children, preserve their dignity and honor, preserve their innocence, and keep them safe in our houses, in our streets and in our neighbourhood.
Senior Muslim clerics in 500 mosques across the UK have given sermons at Friday prayers denouncing the predatory grooming and sexual abuse of children. These sermons follow the convictions of 7 Oxford-based Muslims for paedophilia and a series of horrific sexual offences, resulting in 2 being given extensive jail terms and 5 receiving life imprisonment. These sermons open with a quote from the Quran, which forbids Muslims from sexual indecency, wickedness and oppression. The coordinated effort from the imams, organised by Together Against Grooming, is said to be the largest joint sermon in the UK on record. Islamic scholar and imam Sheikh Ibrahim Mogra, who helped to organise the sermons, said the issue transcends race and religion.
This is a reprehensible and evil, despicable behaviour that's got nothing to do with Islam. Number 2, we said that Islam teaches us to be proactive in terms of addressing these particular issues. 3, we have got models and initiatives taking place which are addressing some of the issues which are related to grooming and sexual abuse, such as drug supply, such as working with the gangster lifestyle of some of our youth, such as dealing with the criminal culture which is developing in our community. We need to stop these particular issues.
And you tell me that you're speaking out?
Well, I think the most important step that's happened over recent times is that there's been a recognition that child grooming, exploitation, as a disgusting and heinous crime that it is being recognised as being something that affects all communities of all religions, of all races. And I think it's a really positive step to see the initiative we had last month being launched in Bradford, and the conference we have later on today, where we've got organisations, leaders, civic leaders coming from different parts of society to come together to try and address this.
You're disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're animals. What is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you? Imagine if that was your little sister, your little daughter, your granddaughter or your little niece being passed around from one bloke to another. Imagine that, just being passed around like a piece of meat. How would you feel? How would you flipping feel? You know, if that was me, you know what I'd do to people like you? That is a solution. That is a solution. But you're lucky. We live in England. The laws are soft on people like you. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And brothers, if you find out people like this are doing this stuff in the community, serve them good and proper. Deal with them good and proper and hand them into the old bill straight away. Because they're bringing shame to us. Flipping filthy animals. That shows that sexual abuse takes place in every single community, and we as Muslims in society are there to protect everyone's children, because they are our children. We don't see them as someone else's children. We see them, the same responsibility we have for our children to safeguard and protect them is for any other child in British society. And this is an Islamic obligation, an Islamic imperative, because Islam throughout the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, there are teachings about child protection. And I've actually covered all these particular verses. We talk so much about the protection of the child from
violence, from abuse, from exploitation. And this is 14 centuries ago. So we in society need to be at the forefront of child protection and child safeguarding.